Welcome to Mart's Garage.
This is the Bakewell tart tray that I put in there, and this is one from a custard tart. And that's what I used on the other side. It fills the thing better. Oops. That's what I used on the other side. It fills the thing better. So I'll fit that now. Okay, back in a bit. Completely fills that more completely fills the housing. I know lots of people say paint them white, and nothing wrong with that. But I'm just running these as an experiment. But I think the fact that it's got this sloping face helps. It's more of a reflector than anything. Oops, where am I pointing? I think the fact that it's got this sloping face helps. And you might even make it better by kind of forming it into like a curve. I just don't know. But I do know it's better than nothing. So I'm quite happy to just give this a try. Okay, I'll put the lens back on then. I won't mess about trying to film it, but I'm just showing you that certainly here in England, a custard tart, this is from Tesco's, fits the housing. 37 Ford Repro housing. Okay, oh that's I've just bodged it over the end of that screw there, so that's sort of retaining it a little bit, I suppose. Okay, right. Hello. I don't know how well they work or will work, but I've swapped the bolts that I was holding the number plate on for these tiny little LED light bolts. I haven't wired them in yet. But when I do wire them in, I'll just try it, see what they look like when it's in the dark, you know, and you turn the lights on. Oops. I mean, they're actually quite inobtrusive. They stand out less than the old bolts. I mean, you can't even see them, can you, really? So, yeah, I'm quite pleased with those. I will report back when I've figured out the wiring. Hello, see this stuff, this like edging stuff. I just managed to put some there, around there like that, around the hole, to act as a grommet, and I've done some of the same there as well. So these are now protected from the edge. Some people had some rather strongly worded suggestions that it might be a good idea to do that. So, bit of a struggle that was, to be honest, but I managed to get it in there. Okay, right. Just a little, tiny little quickie. Right, back in a bit. Hello, there's the sedan. I've been doing a bit of sort of shakedown mileage in it. And one of the things I'm not happy about is the steering. It seems to have too much free play in it. So I'm doing an investigation. I have set the front wheels as far as I can to the straight ahead position, and I have been using a piece of tubing, putting it against the tyre and looking along the tube and seeing where it lines up on the back tyre, and I've got them, as far as I can tell, equal to the back axle. So that's basically the straight ahead position. as far as I can tell. I have removed the adjuster. There's the star wheel. I'll pick that up. There's the star wheel. Now, here, can you see that play? So what I'm trying to do is find where the sweet spot is. Because what I think is happening is that the sweet spot isn't correctly aligned to the drag link. The length of the drag link is off a little bit. That's what I think is happening. Now, on this adjuster at the back, if I turn the adjuster, watch the shaft. See it going in and out, look. So what you do, you have the steering in the straight ahead position. Now, there's a slight added... I'm not explaining this very well because bear in mind, I'm doing an investigation. I don't know the answers yet, but I'm doing the investigation. I'm trying to work out what's going on. Okay? So what I need to do is to find out where the sweet spot is. So how can I do that? Well, first of all, I can kind of... Now, I can't count the turns because I'll show you why. Because if I come all the way to the left, like that... No, sorry. Because if I go all the way to the right, the arm fouls the chassis. There. So in other words, I've got like a false reading for the right hand end of travel, but from memory it was 4.5 turns. So if I go all the way to the left there, so that's all the way to the left. So if I go 1, 2 1/4 there, that should be around about the halfway position. So if I take out the play by turning the screw there, there's still some play there. Hang on. There's a little bit of play there, so that might not be quite the sweet spot. So let me see if I can feel any resistance on here. Not really. You ought to feel just a little bit of resistance. So I'll come off the sweet spot and adjust it a bit more. So I'll go a little bit more. So it ought to be tight on the sweet spot now. So let me see if I can feel resistance now. Yeah, I can actually. I can feel resistance in that area there. Round about there, which is more or less where I said, isn't it? So if that's the sweet spot, now that shouldn't have any play in it. No, it hasn't got any play. Okay. I'm wobbling it and it hasn't got any play. And that... Oh, the screw wasn't tight actually, funnily enough. Okay, so the wheels are straight ahead. So how close to this is this thing. I think it's, oh, I just don't know. Hang on a minute, let me have a think. So that's got a spring, hasn't it, on there? I just don't know. Right, okay, let's bring that on there. So I don't actually know what the outcome of this is going to be, because when I was driving it, it had play, but this is that little tool I made. It works quite well actually. See, I'm having to, it's pulling that forward. Okay, so now I think that might be okay. Obviously I can't feel any play now, can I, because the wheels are on the ground, but that does look okay. I wonder if I just didn't have it adjusted sufficiently. Okay, I think I'm going to tighten everything, you know, do all the nuts up and everything. Leave the adjustment like that and just give it a go. See how it feels. Okay, back in a bit. This is just based on a little hunch. I have a feeling that this drag link, this 32 drag link, could do with being very, very slightly longer. So what I've done, I've just disassembled it, and at this end, this thing goes in there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pack that by using this piece, which is from a repro set, which is a load of shit. This is from a repro set, which is a load of rubbish. You can see the ball seat there is much tighter radius than that. But what I'm thinking is just put that there and use it as a spacer to space this seat out. So that's going to go in there, I think. So I'll put that in. So that seat's in there, this will seat in that. As long as I can get the ball in, that will lengthen the arm effectively. So I'm going to try that and just see if that helps a little bit. I can still feel a little bit of, kind of vagueness in the steering, which I want to see if I can get rid of that. But if that works, that will be good. Other than that, I'm thinking of making an adjustable drag link using the lighter type rod ends, but I'd like to use these early ones if I can. Okay, I'll try that on the car then and see if it helps, if I can get it together. Hello, right, I've just been on a run in the car and I'm happy to report that that little mod putting the washer here, putting the second cup behind there, has actually improved the steering. It has, get that lump of stone out of there, look. It has improved the steering. I've just been around what I call the long block, which is about 8 miles, and a lot of it's on pretty rough, sort of roads, and the steering was fine. In fact, I more or less forgot about the fact that I was testing the steering by the time I'd got a third of the way around, and I just drove around without even thinking about it. So it just shows that it's very important to tune the length of the drag link so that the straight ahead position on the steering is corresponding with the sweet spot. If it's off the sweet spot, there's free play there, and that leads to vagueness in the steering. And it doesn't matter how hard you try and adjust it out, you won't adjust it out, because you can only adjust it out in the sweet spot. So there's a good little hour's job there, just dismantling it. The problem with these sorts of ends is that you can't use like a ball joint splitter to pop them off because of the way that the grease seal is set up. So you have to dismantle them, so you kind of lose your datum then. But my gut feeling told me that link needed to be longer, and that's what I've managed to achieve. I suppose that you could use like an adjustable drag link. You know, you could just get a track rod from a later vehicle, shorten it to get the length, and then you could set that drag link. If you wanted to use that type, you could use that type and set the length. But it's a bit advanced really. It's like not your average run-of-the-mill messing about sort of job. But that's okay now. There's no split pins in anything. So I've just been around the block, just one lap of the block. So now I will grease it and put all the split pins in. Okay, righto. Thanks very much for following along then. Another little job well done. It all adds to the pleasure of driving the vehicle. You don't want to be wrestling with it and struggling with it. Just ignore that jack. That's just from when it was jacked up. You get the steering nice, and it adds to the pleasure of driving the vehicle. There's nothing worse than you sort of sawing the wheel back and forth as you're driving down the road. Okay. Righto then, thank you very much. At least I went around the block and didn't break down as well. I didn't have a problem with the coil, so the new coil appears to be okay. Okay. Righto, thanks very much then. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.